Hi, dear children. Welcome to the new session on the chapter Natural Resources. In the last module, we learned about the formation of soil, what is soil, and the soil profile. Now, let us learn about the composition of soil or what the soil is made up of. The soil is a mixture of rock particles from which it has been formed. Decayed organisms, and you know what is decayed organisms? What are they called as? They are called as humus. Living organisms, minerals, air, and water. And these are the factors which determine the diversity of organisms that has to exist on that particular soil. What are the factors? The amount of minerals, humus, the air and water which the soil can accommodate. All these are the factors which determines the diversity of life in that particular area. Now let us learn what is soil pollution. The addition of harmful substances which affect the fertility of the soil and kills the diversity of organisms living in that particular soil is called as soil pollution. So soil pollution is nothing but degrading the quality of the soil or fertility of the soil and also killing the living organisms present in that particular soil by the addition of harmful substances is called as soil pollution. So what is the cause for soil pollution? There are different causes which is very common to us. It is addition of excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides, and these fertilizers and pesticides, they are chemical in nature, and these kills the microorganisms which are present in the soil, and it degrades or deploys the humus which is present in that particular soil. And the removal of useful components and addition of other harmful substances reduces the fertility of the soil and causes soil pollution. Now, what is soil erosion? The carrying away of soil from one place to another by either flowing water or wind is called as soil erosion. And large scale deforestation also causes soil erosion. So, when the soil particles are carried away by water or wind, it is called as soil erosion and is caused by a large scale deforestation. Soil erosion can be reduced or it can be prevented by vegetative cover on the ground, afforestation, construction of bunds, terraces, dams, etc. All these helps to reduce the process called as or the phenomenon called as soil erosion. Now let us learn about biogeochemical cycles. From the word itself, bio for life, geo for earth, and chemicals for the nutrients, it is getting cycled between what? So that is what we are going to learn in biogeochemical cycles. The cycling of chemicals between the biological and the geological world is called as biogeochemical cycles. The biotic, that means the living components, and abiotic. What does abiotic means? The non-living components of the biosphere. They constantly interact with each other through these biogeochemical cycles. And during these cycles, there is a transfer of nutrients between the biotic and abiotic components of the biosphere. The four important biogeochemical cycles which we have to learn is water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, and oxygen cycle. Let us begin with water cycle. The cycling of water between the atmosphere and the earth or the soil and among the different living organisms is called as water cycle. What happens or what is the processes which is taking place during water cycle? The water bodies are heated up during the day. And we know when water gets heated up, water evaporates in the form of water vapor. And these water vapor, what happens to it? It rises up. And some water vapor also gets into the atmosphere due to activities like transpiration and respiration. So these activities, evaporation of water from water bodies, transpiration and respiration accumulates water vapor in the atmosphere. As the water vapor rises, it cools down. When it reaches the higher levels of the atmosphere, it cools down and forms tiny droplets of water. So the first process was evaporation, and this is evaporation, and second process is the condensation, where it condenses to form tiny droplets of water. And this appears as clouds. When the tiny droplets of water join together, it forms bigger droplets of water and they pour down in the form of rain and snow. Some of the water enters the ground and forms the groundwater, whereas some water flows from the land to the sea. It is carried it and when it is running off from the land to the sea, it carries many nutrients and minerals which are used by marine organisms. So this is about water cycle in which there is evaporation and condensation taking place.